We previously explained that a typical delta fans out as a river hits another body of water. The sediment that carried by that river starts depositing, the large body of water starts getting shallower, and then you get this delta shape as that water continues to fan out. Although we could not find consensus on categories for all the various deltas, there does seem to be agreement on four main delta types. Tide-dominated, the tides control the shape of the delta. Wave-dominated, shape of the delta is controlled by wave-driven sediment. River-dominated, the delta is formed by sediments deposited at the mouth of a river as it fans out. This category includes inland deltas, which do not empty directly into an ocean or lake, a Gilbert delta, which have deposits of coarse material, and inverted deltas, the rarest of all. Finally, the hybrid delta, which is a combination of wave, wind-driven, and/or river deltas.
The Sacramento San Joaquin Delta is unique. In addition to being a river delta, it is one of two known inverted deltas.
It has water coming into the delta pool, and then that water forces back into like a funnel out to the ocean. So it's inverted. Instead of fanning out, it fans in. Rivers funnel water from their source to the final destinations, from streams and tributaries to lakes or oceans. Along most of the route, this flow is one way. Sometimes, where rivers meet the sea, tidal influences push water back upstream. The major threats to traditional delta systems are potential breaks in levees and riverbanks or overtopping. Overtopping is when water flows over the top of the levees and banks. Breaks are when the infrastructure itself is compromised. Overtopping and breaks are more likely when water levels are high, causing more pressure against riverbanks and levees.
I haven't seen a lot of overtopping recently, in the last 10 years, say. Which is good. It's not to say it's not happening, but it's shorter duration and probably less problematic, particularly with the increase in inspections and things like that. Once a levee's in an overtop situation or that water surface elevation in the river is starting to pour over the levee, there's only so many things you can do. It's pretty dire unless that water goes down, or you can keep it from overtopping somehow with either sandbags or maintaining the back slope with plastic or covering it with plastic so that you don't get that erosive force as the water pours over the top.
Tidal influences push water back upstream, causing higher tides inland that may stress riverbanks or levees. Higher water flows from upstream have the same effect. When water levels or flows go down, these threats decrease.
It's the most unique estuary in the world. Well, maybe not the world, but certainly the United States. In fact, Congress just passed another bill indicating that the Sacramento San Joaquin Delta was a very high level, high importance estuary. But you've got state highways, you've got major gas transmission lines, you have major water transmission lines, you have major high voltage transmission lines. All this feeds areas outside this region. This just happens to be in the central core of California, right in the heart of the center.
Everybody has an interest in the Delta. It supplies water. It supplies, half the state or more than half the state with drinking water. There's a lot of facilities. There's a lot of land protected. So, one small island flooding could have extreme impacts statewide.
In the estuary alone, if we don't maintain the general configuration of the Delta as it is currently, the salinity will move into the Delta and will change the whole format of the Delta. Right now it's freshwater. If we lose the what we call the sinuous nature, the small deltaic or the delta-like channels, and it goes to open water, there's not going to be enough water coming out of the reservoirs to repel the salt water that's trying to come in from the tides. And then it turns into salt water. So if you don't mind swimming with the sharks on Smith Canal and 14 Mile Slough, we got to maintain these levees.
You have fisheries, you have waterfowl, that all benefit from the current configuration. Recreation is a huge, you start losing islands, you start losing the ability to recreate. So the boating public, the kayakers, the people who want to go out and enjoy nature, if it floods or turns to a saltwater bay, so to speak, what you can do due to the nature of you lose one island, you can domino effect. Once you have a big body of water, you have more wind fetch, you could lose another island. So, the overall impact is huge.
In our fourth and final segment, we'll be discussing how new engineering techniques, local engineer knowledge and experiences is leading to improved preparedness to protect citizens and property in the Delta. See you next time.